Does not always mean victories. And then we have the Sale Sharks, strong, secure, second in the table and powering the way into the semi-finals. But which one is the beauty and which one is the beast? Well, that all depends on how you like your rugby, and some of them are kind of cute. Look, George. Kick off in half an hour. That was awkward. Not as awkward as Dave Ribbon's chat with Phil Dowson a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, man, I'm off to France, off to Toulon. You can hardly blame him. A big loss for Saints, but you know something? They've so many young stars coming through. This young fella, Finn Smith, is absolutely ripping it up. The only place he's heading to is into an England shirt in years to come. And then, of course, the likes of Tommy Freeman. It's a fairly loaded backline for Saints today. You reckon they're going to run the ball around this park? The turf is absolutely perfect for their style of rugby, and they know how to entertain. It's a cracking game for this Saturday afternoon. Kick-off live from Franklin's Gardens, coming your way very soon indeed. And this is the state of the table at the moment. Saracens top of the pile on 56 points, well ahead of Harlequins, who are in 5th place. You feel they're almost in the playoff stages. They'll want a home playoff, of course. Sale not far behind them. As for Northampton, well, they're in the top half of the table, and really you have to be there to make the playoffs. History tells us that. Win today, they could go as high as 3rd. So a lot at stake at this stage in the Premiership. And as I say, kick-off coming your way in around 25 minutes time. And there's a special bit of colour in the air today, as you can see there, because it's Rainbow Laces weekend, and all of us here at BT Sport are very, very happy and proud to support it. Everywhere you look, bright rainbow colours. Not everywhere, actually, because some people decided not to wear laces today. They decided to wear boots. Christian Day, I mean, come on. You went for the boots on Rainbow Laces weekend?
I'm glad we didn't prepare that you were going to say this. They're a lovely pair of boots, and Northampton boots as well. So.
All right, supporting local community. And as for you, well, nothing's improving.
It would have taken me about 4 days to relace these. It took me 4 hours to get them on.
Shame you can't get them off quicker because they're not great.
I've got a badge.
You do have a badge. It's a great weekend, though. It's an important weekend, isn't it, Christian?
Yeah, it's moving time, isn't it? And Sale in particular have got some huge fixtures. Next 3 could put them in that top 2, but with how tight the league is, they could find themselves down in 6th or lower. So it's, like I say, moving time for the Prem.
And timed perfectly in terms of returnees for Sale Sharks. This team is absolutely stacked. I mean, it's their first team essentially, isn't it? And also having George Ford on the bench, Oz, is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, they're looking strong at just the right time of the season, and they've got a particularly difficult running as well. So, you know, they may find themselves in second at the minute, but that's not quite safe yet. And I'm sure Sanderson's thinking he'd like 2 or 3 wins just to secure that home semi-final. With these guys running out today, they do look like the favourites.
And I think they're probably going to set a target. The next 3, I think, are against top 3, top 4 opposition. Probably want to win 2, don't they? Win 2 of those and they're in a really strong place.
Also, having Tom Curry back in the back row is massive for them as well. It's great to see him back, isn't it?
Massive is the right word. He just walked past a minute ago and I cannot believe the size of him. He is not your mobile, hyper-fast back row anymore. He brings some serious muscle.
Let's talk about Northampton Saints. Let's talk about Dave Ribbons, another man from the row like yourself, Christian. Were you surprised to hear him leaving Northampton Saints?
Yeah, I was, if I'm honest. He moved over here, been given some really good opportunities. He's played incredibly well, and he's just starting to get the opportunities in the white shirt. And, you know, he's clearly faced a tough decision. He's clearly had, you know, a great offer from France, and he's taken it. And sometimes for players, they've got to look at what's right for them, their family and everything else, and that's the decision he's taken.
It is. I mean, you're dead right. But Austin, sometimes, I don't know, I always guess that players' ultimate goal is to play for their country, to put on the international shirt.
I think he should be in a white shirt. I definitely think he should have started the last 2 games. I think we saw glimpses of him in the autumn internationals, the offload that created the try, but just his physicality as well around the field. And moreover, it would probably enable Chesham to play in the 6 shirt. I'm not saying that everyone who's playing in the 6 shirt is not been good enough, but I just feel like England need a bit more bulk in that pack.
And I've got to say, Steve Borthwick asks certain things of players, and I think Dave's discipline in the past has been an issue. This season he's been superb. So he's clearly knocking right on the door, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does feature at some point, but that's the decision that he's made. Well,
he's a good man to have around now because it's such an important part of the season, and as ever in the Premiership, some huge results coming through. 2 games last night. They were live at Ashton Gate. Huge crowd there for that one. And Bristol beat Newcastle. 2 tries from Harry Randall, but this is the one that got themselves the bonus point. Fitzharding. And look at the celebrations, Christian. Massive for them. Really is huge for them, isn't it?
Well, it's how tight the table is, isn't it? Look, I think they've moved up 3 places from that victory. It's just so tight.
And what a game at
Brilliant game. Carreras, he knows exactly what he's doing. Keeps his arm long in the tackle. Gives it to the the bullet train, and over he goes through the middle. When you put the ball in Reece Hammett's hands and there's nobody in front of him, you may as well turn around and walk back to the halfway line. Good win for Gloucester, just at the right time, because like you said, it is moving time. 2 wins on the trot now puts you in contention.
And Quins, though, still staying in touch. They're an incredible rugby team. Still a 2-point game. That was the end result, 28-26. Bonus points for both. You can see, though, the game today is Bath against London Irish. Bath on the move. London Irish still really wanting to make that top half of this table. Still dreaming about top 4, of course. Tomorrow our live game is a massive one. It's Leicester Tigers against Saracens. We're on air from 2 o'clock. Jamie Roberts, Ugo Monya and Brian O'Driscoll in studio for that one. And rugby tonight at 5:15. 3 o'clock kickoff there, and all the highlights coming your way in the early hours on BT Sport 1. Guys, let's look at the top of the table, because it's tight as you like, isn't it? You feel Saracens are almost there and Sale not far off it.
I think Saracens are pretty much there. I think Sale, these next 3 games will determine if they're in the top 2. I honestly do. After that, I would not want to guess who's going to make the top 4, and that's where the Prem is looking so great this year. It's just so close, so competitive.
I think the key to it all is, as a coach, you're going to be saying, right, let's win our home games. But Sale have only got 1 home match left for the end of the season, which, quite frankly, is ridiculous. You know, we're in the middle of February and they've got 1 home game for the rest of the year. Really tough for them. But you look at the sides around them. Leicester have got 5 home games. Tomorrow's game for them is going to be absolutely critical, because if they lose tomorrow, they end up in a game outside, taking everyone else on. They're 5 points away from catching sides, so that's difficult for them. But I think Sale are in the top 4 now. I think we can all pretty much say, not with any certainty, but the way that they're playing, the strength of their squad, you'd expect them to be in the top 4. Home, more than likely. And then it's down to anyone. Even south of Leicester could get there. You know, even Bristol could get there. There's still a good 30 points.
London Irish have 4 home games to come, and that's massive for them, isn't it?
And I think the way coaches prepare teams is going to be vital, because there's going to be weeks off, particularly if you're not in Europe. Keep people fit. Get your best team on the paddock for those final 2-3 games. You might just win a trophy.
Yeah, proper battle for 3rd and 4th place. That's the way it's going to go for the rest of this season. Sale almost there. Not that Alex Sanderson will admit they're very close to making the playoffs. He's with Martin Bayfield.
Alex, you're fielding a side you probably weren't expecting that you'd be able to field. That must put a smile on your face.
Yeah, evidently it's a rare occasion when you're this fresh and you've had this much prep time, and your squad's as strong as it is at this point in the season, at this time of the season. I think that's probably felt by both teams here today. Hence the expectancy and the excitedness around the fixture itself.
What about keeping the players in check? You want them to perform at their ultimate, but there are players out there who've got a point to prove, either coming back from injury or they'll feel that they should be involved in the England setup at the moment. There's a danger, is there not, that they might just go a little bit off script?
It's something that we've talked about and addressed in the week, and usually again at this point in the season you're looking for motivational drivers, for channels of purpose, but that just hasn't been the case this week. We've talked about that physical intensity that marries up with discipline in all senses of the word, you know, with the ball, obviously without it, to curb some of that enthusiasm for those axes they've got to grind.
What about George Ford? He doesn't start, he's on the bench. It's been a long, painful wait for him to run out in Sale Sharks colours in the Premiership. How has he been? What's his mood today? What are you expecting from him?
I hope we see, you know, even 3/4 of what we've seen over the last 10 days in training, because that's been quite special. What we have experienced along the way is nothing but a positivity around the place, you know, a contribution, even a quiet contribution. He wasn't playing, but now he's able to back up some of his input and words with his actions on the field. So as I say, I hope that transfers for him today when he gets the game time that he will inevitably get. It has been a long way. Hopefully it's not been too painful for him. We've tried to make it as enjoyable and keep him involved as we can, and that's why I didn't play last week, just so we can get the training time and the cohesion with the combinations that we might be trying out in that second half or earlier if injury does prevail.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you back on the pitch. We're looking forward to this game. Yeah. Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, we really are. I think we should give the public what they really want, which is more of Manu Tuilagi's legs. There they are. We have a young cameraman out there, and he's only about 16, Ghetto, and he's following Manu around the pitch. Look at the size of those things, Christian. I mean, he's just huge, isn't he?
He's certainly thick set, I'll say that. He's a man, fortunately, I didn't have to tackle too often, but a lot of power in those legs.
All right, Ghetto, leave it. Get out of there. Get out of there. It's getting weird. What does he have to do to get back in the England team?
Play better. I personally feel, and I've said it for a while, that I think he's been saving himself for the England games at the start of the season. There's always been this chat about, if you push him too hard, he's going to break down, he's going to get an injury. That long groin injury that he had for that huge period of time, there's always been that concern. So it's been about managing his workload, managing what he does on the field. And if you keep saying that to a world-class player, and let's not beat around the bush, this guy at his best is world-class. You keep saying that to him, mentally himself, he takes off 5 or 10%. And that is a really big change in how his game and his output performs. So I think he's gone to the England squad. He's expected Steve Borthwick to pick him. He's been dropped, he's been kicked out the squad, and he's been sent home by Borthwick, who said to him, you've got to show me more. So I'm expecting a massive game from this guy today. Physically, ball in hand on both sides of the ball. Defensively, we know what he can do when he's got his mind on. And he needs to play better. And he needs to put 100% in all the time, because if he does that and he doesn't get injured, he's one of the best players in the world.
And that is very exciting for all of you watching at home. If he's going to be in full flight today, it's a joy to watch in a rugby sense. Christian, Alex said in the interview there, looking for motivation at this stage of the season. Often coaches will look for things that aren't going quite right and use them to spur the team along. So what will be their work-ons, do you think, today and for the next few weeks anyway?
I think I mentioned it. You've got some big games coming up, little pre-seasons almost. So how do we mentally get up for this game? What did we do well recently, but what didn't we do well? Last 2 weeks, they haven't performed well. In the cup competition in particular, they'll be talking about back to basics, I think. Their northern roots, putting that wall in the north back together. Defensively, Sale shots need to be very strong. Here against Bath, how do you beat a wall? Bath are showing it here. Can you kick it through? Can you kick it over the top? These are uncharacteristic mistakes here from Sale. They've lost Mike Forshaw, who was their defensive architect, their defensive leader. There's a little doubt there in Sale, and they need to put it right today, I think, that wall is as intact as it should be.
Yeah, Jamie Langley, the new man in charge. Early days for him. He's got a decent playbook from Mike Forshaw. This guy's good. It's going to work out for him. We just got to give him a few weeks to bed in, I guess. Austin, we talk about them being a powerhouse team, but my word, when Sale attack out wide, they're a joy to watch as well, aren't they?
I think they're a little bit confused in their style of play. I mean, we've seen 5 years of them crash bang wallop around the sides, one-off carriers, big South African guys carrying into brick walls and wearing sides down and, eventually getting wins. When they've looked really, really good this season is when they've gone wide relatively early. Dupree faking the ball, pumping, defenders stepping out the line, manipulating defences and getting the ball to their wide guys, who aren't the biggest guys in the world, but they're finishers. We saw the retry, we've seen O'Flaherty score lots this season. So I think that they've got to find their own way, both in attack and defence, because when sides mix it up against them, defensively, they don't look as good. If you just play a methodical game against them, set piece, they'll kill you. And sides are slowly working that out. We saw Bath work it out in that last game.
And if they want a lesson on how to go wide, look at the opposition today, Northampton Saints. They just love to play wide, play fast. The man in charge of all that is Phil Dowson. He's with Babes.
It's been a rollercoaster season for Saints. The look on your face tells me that you know that all too well. You need to harness, if you can, I guess, the memories of that East Midlands Derby win over Leicester Tigers, because when Saints are on it, they're really on it.
Yeah, and that feels a long time ago. There's been obviously a week off and the PRC semi-final in between those times. So we need to make sure we take those lessons from that were really positive in that space in terms of our defence, in terms of the way we looked after the ball, moved the game up the pitch, and make sure we apply that today. Make sure we have that same sort of energy. Like you said, the inconsistency clearly has to stop now with the way the league is.
In that Premiership Rugby Cup match, we talked about the departure of Dave Ribbons. I'm not going to put you through that pain again, but it is that opportunity for other players to step forward and say, look, you're losing a key player, I can fill that gap.
Yeah, and I think that's the same every week. That's the same in training. All those guys have to put their hand up, show that they're capable of performing at this level.
What about Sale? They come fully loaded. They're the sort of team that can expose Saints' errors, the set piece, discipline. You've got to be on it against these guys, haven't you?
Yeah, they're a quality side, and I think a lot of people would point towards their pack and their physicality, but I think Rob Dupree at 10, keeping forward out is a big sign of how well he's been playing, the quality of their back line. they're second in the table for a reason, because they've been performing well, and Alex Sanderson has them flying.
Let's talk about Alex Waller. He runs out for 250th appearance for Saints. That is some shift by the boy.
I think it's 250th Premiership appearances, so that's a huge mark of his durability, his quality, and his tenacity as well, to keep turning up for that. So he's the Saintsman through and through, and we want to make sure that this is a game that he remembers for the right reasons.
And he's retained his boy's good looks as well.
Yeah, he says he's way better looking than his brother.
Great stuff, folks. Looking forward to this. Cheers, Ash.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. They're a brilliant side to watch, Christian, aren't they? They're just so entertaining.
When they get into their flow, they are. And I remember Austin saying something against Leicester last time out. First 10 minutes, it was brick walls. They were being chopped down. After about 10 minutes, something just clicked and they started going wide. They started stretching the Leicester defence, and that's when they're so good to watch. And people like Tommy Freeman, what an electric player, what an athlete he is, and what a footballer he is.
Do you know, he's also a bigger fella than I expected, because I haven't seen him out in the pitch for a while, but he's a big dude, isn't he?
And I think both Rahm and Tommy Freeman are both big athletes. Surprisingly quick. This guy's a gymnast, believe it or not, I've read. And he was superb last time out against Leicester.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, Oz, isn't he?
Yeah, really good. I mean, his ability to do everything around the field, high balls, his kick chase, defensively he was very strong. Kicking on the ground, the 50-22s, he put a couple of those in. He looks like a really good addition, and this is one of, I think, probably the best offload we'll see all season from anyone. Fantastic bit of play. Slytone not playing today. He was a really big positive for Saints, but the all-round game, like you said, the mixing it up out wide is something they'll need to utilise this afternoon. I think they will go wide, and I think they'll go wide early, and then they'll put the ball on the floor. They've got two very good footballers. Freeman off the boot is also excellent, so let's expect Saints will do that. Well coached, I think Vesti will know that if you go tight against Sale, you're going to get rocked back. You're not going to win the gain line. You're going to slow your own ball down. So let's see them go wide, and let's see them put the ball in behind if they want to make advances.
But they have to keep an eye on defence, Christian. That's the thing, isn't it? It's always sitting there, a little cloud over them. Great at scoring tries, not great at stopping them.
And part of this is because of how they play, because they do play wide. They present turnover opportunities to teams. They're also, discipline has not been good enough recently. I think Phil Dowson would admit that. And when they do concede cards, they're the worst in the league at conceding points. So defensively, a lot of work. But Austin's going to touch on against Leicester. They were a different kettle of fish.
I think they were a lot more connected. They didn't have people shooting out the line, and if they did, they reconnected afterwards. So I think in terms of bringing people down, they've really worked hard on their chop tackles and getting people over the ball. Slytone, I think, got 4 turnovers in this game. He's not playing, like I said. But it's that commitment to the breakdown, recognising when it's loose and light that you can go through and slow it down. Against Sale, though, it's going to be a lot different because their forward carriers are more adept at taking the contact on the tackle line. They make the tackle line and they make the gain line meters after more than any other side. So you've got to expect to defend smart, and if they do that today, they've got a chance.
Saints must be patient early doors. They cannot play too much. They cannot run into the brick wall. If that means they've got to put the ball in the boot more and be pragmatic, they have to do that in the first 10 minutes. Then as the game develops, they go wide, they stretch this Sale defence, and that's where I think they might have some success.
Brian Ashton said it years ago, I'm talking 20 years ago. He said 5 metres either side of the breakdown is a brick wall. Don't run into it because you get your head smashed in and it hurts. And he was right, especially against Sale.
Absolutely does. And they're quite the wall too. Lads, you're going to pop up to commentary for us now. Almost set to go here at the Gardens. And usually we have a win predictor, but Sale have brought their own one. This young fella says Sale 33, Northampton 23 with the big red cross. My word, he is very, very determined here today, isn't he? Kick off live from the Gardens on its way after this short break. Sale.
Are English champions for the first time in their history.
A record Premiership win against Leicester.
Dead happy with the resilience of the boys.
This lot mean business. Resurgent Sharks.
The squad are in a real good place.
We've been scoring more tries this season than we have in the last 10 years.
How has Spencer won that?
Drama everywhere.
Sale, can they close it out here?
Is it great? Out of the jaws of defeat, the Sale Sharks come good.
Is 2023 going to be Sale's year?
These are big days in the Premiership. A win for Saints could put them as high as third in the table. A win for Sharks, well, will put them even closer to the playoffs, even closer to the title, as they're out to repeat their heroics of 17 years ago.
Sale.
Are English champions for the first time in their history.
A record Premiership win against Leicester.
Dead happy with the resilience of the boys.
This lot mean business. Resurgent Sharks.
The squad are in a real good place.
We've been scoring more tries this season than we have in the last 10 years.
How has Spencer won that?
Drama everywhere.
Sale, can they close it out here?
Is it great? Out of the jaws of defeat, the Sale Sharks come good.
Is 2023 going to be Sale's year?
Yes, it should be a cracker. Welcome to the Gardens. The earlier rain outside making way happily, and as we get a peep into the Sale Sharks dressing room, it feels like the season is on something of a fast forward. Round 17 upon us. It feels like we're hurtling headlong already towards the playoffs, and there is so much still to be decided. Saints this week, of course, missing their skipper, Lewis Ludlam, Courtney Laws, who's hopeful of an England return shortly, and Alex Mitchell, but they did have a trio of men back from Pennyhill Park as well. One of those is Finn Smith, surplus to Steve Borthwick's plans to this point, but already critical to Saints. in the short time he's been here. He's paired with Tom James, so good at 9 against Leicester last time out. James Ram has been stellar recently, as we know. George Furbank retains the captaincy, and Tommy Freeman returns on the wing, another of those yet to taste Six Nations action. Up front they have Dave Ribbons back as well, and Alex Waller notching up his 250th appearance in the Premiership. Well, what a selection bonanza for Alex Sanderson. So many of his squad in the England fringes. Manu Tuolangi said to be simmering after his Six Nations omission, and he'll be launched into the midfield today. Rob Dupree continues at 10, where he's been utterly instrumental. George Ford will make his Premiership debut for the Sharks off the bench. In the pack, Tom Curry back from injury to state his powerful international case once more. Johnny Hill, also a man with a point to prove at lock, and Bevan Rodd and Ewan Ashman also returning from international camps where they've been on the outside looking in. There is certainly no shortage of motivation. Led out by arguably the ultimate Saints man, Alex Waller. 250 up. Another astonishing milestone, a record for any prop. He is now 8th on the all-time list. Christian, just give us a tiny flavour of what kind of punishment he will have had to take across 250 Premiership outings in the front row.
Yeah, a man who's had to do it at the coalface, let's be honest. One of the toughest positions on the field to play. And like you said, what a proper Saintsman, a man who's captained this team, a man who's lifted trophies, but a guy who shows up every week and performs.
Come on, it's not that hard playing prop. I mean, scrum half. Got to bend down all the time, pick the ball up.
And if you're an old man with a bad back, that could be testing.
Ian Tempest is our referee this afternoon. Nick Wood, former Gloucester loose end, is one of those running touch alongside Jamie Leahy and Claire Hodnett, our TMO, this afternoon. So Northampton knowing that it is very much crunch time over the next few weeks. 7 matches to go, 4 of them here for the Saints. Well, they've won 5 of their 6 in the league this season. They've got to start cashing in on those home games, but a physical test awaiting them. Phil Dowson's focused this week on the mauling and the brawling. Lots of talk about learning the lessons of La Rochelle and Munster, how to deal with the heavy artillery that's coming their way. Taken well by Joe Carpenter, the 21-year-old who's made that fullback shirt his own for Sale this season. Carried up by Cobus Visa. And Gus Waugh at 9, who has been another of those that's really shone in the absence of Rafi Quirk, the departure of Faf de Klerk. Settled in really nicely to that scrum half shirt, and the box kick is a strong one. It's taken well by Ram. Alex Moon. And, ripping up the record books as far as the tackling in the Premiership is concerned, but here on the carry and being driven back.
And there's the Northern Wall straight away. Carry off 9, no momentum, battered backwards. This is pragmatism now from Saints. Put the kick on the money, good chase.
Up she goes from Tom James. No Alex Mitchell, of course, and that's come off the fingertips this time of Carpenter. Saints profiting. Robbie Smith on the bounce to Waller. A little bit of a juggle from Proctor. Back to the traffic, but making some ground initially.
Advantage over from knock on.
First side of Dave Ribbons. Smith to the line. And bundled backwards pretty effectively by Nick Shonett.
Come off, come off.
Being driven all the way back, and a decent counter ruck here. Bevan Rod is in over the ball, trying to get the lift. He's got the turnover, saw the daylight, went in, and very, very effective.
And so we've seen it already. Sale, very, very physical, but they're actually holding people up in the tackle. We've seen 2 or 3 attempted counter rucks, and this here, watch it expose the ball. Bevan Rod, probably the best front row forward in the Prem over the ball. Him and Val Ruskin. First turnover of the game for Sale.
Difficult for the Saints, isn't it? Because they want to get the offload game going. If you want to get offload, you've got to keep your upper body a little bit high in the tackle. You do that against Sale, they'll choke you all day long. So you've got a choice there. Get your head lower, get the drive quicker, get to ground faster, get quick ball. Or run the risk of that.
Pleasing start for Jamie Langley and his defensive unit as Rob de Preer is crunched in the tackle. Great shot coming in from Fraser Dingwall. And O'Flaherty having to mop things up here for the Sharks. Visa. Off a stride through. Dupree. James. And this time Moon swallows him up. Jean-Luc Dupree, the inside ball for Tom Curry. First time back for 6 odd weeks for Curry. Here's Tuolangi. O'Flaherty. Once again, it's Dingwall holding on defensively. Curry again. Driven back by Ribbons emphatically. And they're well back behind the gain line here, Sale. Dupree to the boot this time. And across comes Furbank.
Put him on.
Safety first.
But a good defensive set for a team that knows it needs to work on its defence. So good start. I will say one thing, that there's a very strong wind here today. You can't see it on the cameras, obviously, but it's going to blow the ball away from us where we are here. Makes kicking difficult. And I think for George Furbank there, that's why you saw a lack of distance. That wind's going to be an issue, particularly on this side of the field.
Ashman to Hill. War. Dupree. Tuolangi launched. And Finn Smith holding up well on the gain line. Carpenter as Sale seek the edge. Good counter-ruck this time from Northampton.
Play on, good counter.
But it is there and popped on its way for Gus Waugh.
Away, 6. Okay, use. No, 50-22.
Tom James, again, that breeze potentially a factor on those high balls inside the 22. He's kicking against Leicester, exemplary in the East Midlands derby. Carpenter taking on Freeman and summarily dealt with.
Good defence, isn't it, out wide?
Just going to say a little mini battle would. If Saints can win the kicking battle today, I think Sale would probably expect to win it, so big win.
Up goes Hinckley for the Northampton line-out. James to Dingwall, slick from Finn Smith and Freeman. Oh, couldn't quite get it away. Furbank drops it and Sale are off the hook.
Should have been taken.
Advantage from knock on. Release.
Ross playing with a knock-on advantage, of course, the
Advantage
Sharks.
over.
And Gus Waugh kicks away the advantage.
Wait, Green.
Furbank gives that as much as he can.
Always in. Sale out the 10. Always in.
Once again, I think Saints will be happy with that outcome.
It's another territory win. I said, you know, Sale expect to win this kicking game probably. And I'll say something here. I don't think anyone launches as well as Saints.
Thanks,
when I say
lads.
launch, set piece, here's your fancy play you've worked on all week. This is perfect attacking ball for Saints. Let's see what they can do.
They're on the line.
It's normally back into the channel, isn't it, at
You
the
stay
end
in
of the
the middle
line-out.
where we
They normally
took
go
you.
back into the pocket
Thank you.
and then try and get the secondary runner onto a smaller defender. Unfortunately for them, Sale haven't got any smaller defenders.
Good competition.
Yeah, they tend to come one size only. XXXL. Here's Moon for Northampton. Pleasing time on the ball, at least for the home side in these early stages. As Smith goes wide and Carpenter watches it, and once again Freeman is there. O'Flaherty now trying to exploit some broken field, but that comes to a very abrupt halt.
Third big shot there from Dingwall.
Bevan Rod on the carry.
Okay, use it, please, Sale. 5 seconds. No, mate, not yet.
Waugh
Good
using
ass,
Johnny Hill, a stationary and upright Johnny Hill as protection.
Chase is on. He's on.
And Furbank sends this one up for Finn Smith. Swirling a little bit. Carpenter does well, very agile, good balance. Dupree, Jean-Luc Dupree playing 8 in the absence of his brother Dan, who's still trying to shake off a hand injury.
Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Don't go in. Okay, thanks. Feet, no. No, 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 no. Yeah. You got to play
Another tester for Furbank. O'Flaherty making good ground. He gets the tackle in, but Ram is there in support. And a penalty is won by Sale.
And perfect technique. Please show me the replay of this, because this is how you contest the ball. You make it clear to the referee that you're legal and you win your team a turnover. Let's watch Tom Curry here. Release and then back on. You saw it, the chicken wings, make it really obvious, pull on the ball, the referee rewards.
This is a good angle, isn't it? Does he go on the ball? I don't think he does. I think he goes to the floor first.
2 hands on the ball.
No, the first impact, the first balancing point for him there was touching grass, not touching the ball.
There you are, thanks, mate.
I know he gets in a great position and he's really fast, but you've got to touch the ball first now.
Those are his margins, aren't they?
They are so close.
Those are the Tom Curry margins. And now it is allowed for this field position and this drive for Sale. It is with Ashman. And they are making very slow but incremental headway. Waugh to Alangi. Dupree
that's good.
Goes aerial. Aaron Reid is waiting, and it'll be the simplest of touchdowns for the winger. Well, ruthless in its execution. It looked so straightforward, and Aaron Reid opens the Sharks account.
I'll say 2 things here, because first and foremost, the threat is at the line-out drive, and Saints committed numbers to stop it, which is what they've got to do. They can't just be shunted over there. Yeah. What we then can say is Rob Dupree, who's been superb this season, he's keeping Ford out of that 10 shirt at the moment. They identify the space. Where's the space? It's in the 15. How do we get it there? Kick pass. It's becoming much more popular with 10s at this point in the season. It looks easy. It's still skillful.
Aaron Reid, who of course delivered the match-winning score late on against Bath in the last round.
And we've seen some things in the press recently about how the scrum's boring, the maul's boring. The maul there created the space for the try, because Saints had to commit. If we don't have those kind of set pieces committing defenders, we'd have 15 in a line and that space wouldn't be there.
Just as you said, Christian, the maul's really important because all the forwards are in the maul. And then if you add to that Manu Tuolangi as a ball carrier, you get such close connections. There's the last defender. The last defender is on the inside of the post, which means as a kick, you've got so much space you can walk over. And effectively they do. A little dink over, one slow bounce, trots over for the try. Defensively, the backs need a bit of help there, 10 metres out.
Carpenter for Sale. Making good ground up to the 22. That ball definitely was out, and Robbie Smith just had a little look at that.
Inside. Okay, 5 seconds. Always in there, mate. Play on.
Takes it quick. Furbank. James to the short side, and Augustus.
Just like the ref to speed this up a bit. 5 seconds from the ball available. Let's play a bit quicker.
James looking for some distance here. He's got that.
Put him on.
Again, it's Carpenter.
9's on here. Yeah,
who sends it north. Furbank. Space in the backfield. He's taking it on. He's got it away to James, and in turn Augustus is freed up. Scott Young driven back in no uncertain terms by Bevan Rod.
No.
A little bit of assistance from Tom Curry, who's just checking in with Ian Tempest about the legality of his challenge. Carpenter again, little dodge and weave, and he's off. Lovely from Carpenter.
I think
terrific run.
I think Reid ran across his line there, and Ron blocked him. Got away with it.
Ross to Dupree, who wants the territory. Fires it over the head of George Furbank. Oh, what a kick. Terrific effort from Rob Dupree from inside his own half. And Sale will have the line out inside the Northampton 22.
I think Austin's correct. I think there was a real blocking line there. But we've got to praise, first of all, this little half break, which puts Sale's defence on the back foot, Saints' defence on the back foot, and then a perfect kick, Rob Dupree again. Excellent execution of a 50-22.
Brilliant kick, isn't it? I just watched the Reid thing again. It was a slight block, but not really that as evident as we thought. Gives them a really good attacking opportunity now.
One-handed from Dupree. Here's Tuolangi taking on all comers. He's hungry for it. And Saints getting in over the ball, and it's Dingwall who's had such a bright start to this match, defensively in particular, sticking his head into those dark places and coming up trumps.
This is one of the things you want to do. You just saw Waller there, just starting to push a few of the Sale forwards. I think it's quite a good tactic. When they're on top and they're going really well, they've got very clear heads.
Looking at foul play, potential by 12.
Is this the fend? Who's going to have a look at the fend here from Manu? And,
yeah, it's a leading elbow.
Is it legal?
Going to the screen, potential foul play by red 12. Claire,
Oh, dear, no. No, that is not good. It's not the carrying arm, that's a red card.
The ref's going to look at it, and I saw Tommy Freeman go down. It didn't look right. You could tell something had happened, and we're going to let the ref go through the process.
Claire Hodner is our TMO.
He actually explodes into it. It's a red card, it's nothing else.
Show me real speed to finish.
Yes, tempo, I'm ready.
So we're looking, do we have foul play here? Yes, we do, because the arm is away from the body.
Yes.
It's forearm with force, extremely dangerous to the neck area of, I believe, 14 Saints.
I agree.
That's a red card.
Absolutely agree.
Okay, thank you. Talk and walk.
Agreement all round from the officials, and on his return to club colours.
In that situation, what we have is an arm away from the body, direct ahead with force, it's a red card. Manu.
Not 14 minutes in. Manu Turlangi sent from the field. That is a crushing blow to the Sale Sharks. An apology from Manu Turlangi to Tommy Freeman. And he will cut a frustrated figure from here on in.
It's clear he wanted to make an impact, didn't he? But just got the better of him. He knows exactly when he's seeing that on the screen, he knows exactly what's going to happen to him.
Well, so much chat about his return to Sale. He's been bubbling in training. There is the boss consoling him. He knows the excitement around his return.
Thanks, lads.
But you have to manage to control it. You have to channel it properly. Scott Young with line-out ball for Northampton.
Over 15.
One of Sale's most dangerous threats off the pitch. And now Furbank accelerating hard.
I really like what Saints have done there. And Saints started the game very pragmatic. They've used territory, they've conceded, all right.
Yeah, no problems.
But the minute they have that advantage in the back line,
down. In the middle of the line.
They've gone wide.
Red ball line up.
Furbank's done himself an injury here by the look of things. Just clutching that leg, and the crowd baying for blood in terms of that challenge as well. It's a pretty febrile atmosphere inside the Gardens right now.
It's clearly on the shoulder, Tempo.
So it's not over, yeah?
Clearly shoulder.
Thanks. Shoulder, no foul play there. Big clear.
Look, it's a clear communication from the referee there. Where's the first impact? It's on the shoulder. Let's move on. It's good refereeing. Don't want George down with this ankle injury.
Awkwardly when he was tackled. There's no foul play.
Give yourself some space, lads. We'll wait for him. He's in the middle of the line.
And
so.
the next 5 minutes of this game, 10 minutes of this game, both teams need to keep their cool, keep their heads.
Well, it's good for Sale. I mean, they're good with only 14 men. But I'll just show you, actually, Ali, the difference when you lose a centre defensively, because you've got to put from a line, you've got to put a back row out there, so you put Curry in as first defender. But watch what that does as a connectivity of the three. They're just not used to playing together. They're all over the place, these three. Look at the shape of them defensively, and what it means to your inside centre then, who's now playing in the 13 channel. He's got to stay with his 10. So look at his shoulders. They're turned in. Now he can turn out, and you can end up conceding 20 or 30 metres when normally you wouldn't from a play like that.
You don't think some of that is the exit line out? I don't think Sale expected it, and they tested the width straight away, which I think is smart, and fair play Finn Smith pulled the trigger.
Normally your 10 and 12 would stay straight and allow your 13 to open his shoulders or go forward. So defensively, it's going to be a really good area for Saints to attack, albeit they've just lost one of the guys in that channel now.
We'll go now, yeah, okay.
The end of George Furbank's day, and he's been replaced by Rory Hutchinson. And that will prompt something of a reshuffle with James Ram at fullback, presumably. Here's Ewan Ashman for Sale in the meantime, intent on setting things straight. Curry cut down by Augustus, kept alive by Hill. They're within 5. Curry again. Ross. War. Held back for Dupree. James. Jono Ross. It's it away to Johnny Hill again. And the touchline is found. Some excellent defending from Proctor.
Really good defence from Proctor. Good break down the short side to begin with from Ashton, wasn't it? Little short interchange. Ball's forward, back to his hands. He does exactly the right thing by stepping off the line and getting the ball back to the inside. But it's good defence from the Saints. Man on man, going low, chopping from Augustus there. They had to scramble, Saints. Can they get out?
Terrific reach from Ribbons for the line-out ball.
Tackle! No!
See, I don't like that play. There's just way too many things that can go wrong. You've got a left foot scrum half, so why throw it 20 metres out from the line out? So you've got to go back another phase to get in a position where now he's still got to hook the kick to get it anywhere near the line. Concedes a lot of distance on the kick.
And some of that is the system that's in place.
Yeah.
They clearly win the ball at the line out. They go to Trocky Augustus. But like you say, with the wind the way it is, with the left-footed kicker, do they need to? Could they not play a bit tighter? It's, you know, when a team's really comfortable, they make those adjustments on the hoop.
I much prefer simplicity when you exit, because then you're just negating things that can go wrong. Catch the ball at the line out from Ribbons, drive it 5 metres, box kick it 30 metres up the field. Easy.
Slick line-out routine from the Sharks, and Sam James sets it on its way. Here's Bevan Roddo out of the back door, and John Ross has failed to pick that up, but they'll take the offside.
That's called milk in a cow alley.
And I was going to praise when we got a minute. Both teams, I think, haven't really given away a dumb penalty. That's an example, like you say, smart 9 milks the penalty, and now we've got a 5-metre line out, the same challenge for Saints defence. How do you deal with this more?
On the tee.
Well, they're feeling confident. The 3 points on offer there for
no one in front.
For Rob Dupree.
Let him land.
Well, no Manu doesn't affect this maul, and how powerful it is. The fact that they've scored more maul tries than any other team in the Prem. So back yourself. If the points are on offer, they've got to get them.
Ashman, it's been misfired and picked up by Curry. Ball bouncing around alarmingly. War to the short side. Reed, excellent tackling. Shutting down that avenue. Shonutz. Dupree for Ross. Turns to present. War. Curry steaming through. Tom Curry. A man down, Sale, but fighting with every fibre in their being. And Tom Curry on his return, 6 weeks out, back in the tries.
Fluffed the line out, but they went back to their systems. They got on the front foot. Gus War, find of the season maybe. He's got to be up there. And Tom Curry, absolutely superb line, power and the pace, take it over the line.
So committed.
You lose the screen as he goes, but
you just clear it, mate.
Hang on.
No, we'll go for the kick. No,
just enough delay on that, wasn't there, from Gus War. And Curry head down, full of intent. Compare and contrast the two returning England soldiers, Tom Curry and Manu Tuolangi, but Tuolangi's absence making no difference to the outcome here.
No, it's a dominant tackle tempo. He is pushed backwards, his legs go up. No foul play. Try is good, by the way.
It's been very good for them, hasn't he, Gus War, Austin?
Yeah, he has. He's been very good. His energy's brilliant. It really helps, though, defensively, if you don't get your guard in place straight away inside the red zone. I mean, it's a really good example. 2 guys, look at Ribbons here and Hinckley, both 1 and 2 there. They just run away from the ruck. I think they get confused about who's going in. That just makes it 2-metre gap, which is too easy for a 9 to see. So now both guys are stepping back in, and they can't see Curry's angle, so they're both blindsided. Got to get that position in first before anyone else defensively goes anywhere else on the field.
He's everywhere at the moment, Tom Curry, but fielding the restart as well.
Yeah, War has been really good for them this season.
Nice work out of the back door, and here's Curry again, turning provider for O'Flaherty this time. The chase is on. O'Flaherty outstripping most. Across comes Smith. Oof. It's all happening.
Superb play. Who thought Sale would be going backdoor offload in their own 22? Tom Curry, superb start, something to prove. He needs that shirt back. Tom O'Flaherty puts it on the boot here. Fabulous chase, and fair play to Finn Smith. Gets across, gets the ball off the field.
Just watching Curry there. That's a sprint. He's thinking, right, how is this hamstring? Yeah. Should I give it the full lick, or maybe there might just be an opportunity later on in a few weeks? No, I'll go 80%.
Maul in 5.
John Ross has secured this here. Tom Curry's onto it, and once again, he's wrestling with the opposition. Rod. Dupree. Back they come, and threaded forwards by Rob Dupree, picked out by James.
Advantage.
Trapped right on the try line. It's an advantage here to Sale.
Oh, he's close.
Advantage, holding on, penalty. Take the line.
It's there for the Sharks. They're within half a metre. And Bevan Rod is driven back.
Knocked down. Still advantage.
In comes Jean-Luc Dupree to assist.
Arrive up.
Just looking for that final coup de grace. Now then, War. Duprea throws the dummy, saunters under the sticks. Sale have 3 in 21 minutes, even allowing for their man dismissed. This is already looking like a dominant performance from the 14 men of Sale.
And I wanted to praise Rob Duprea for the kick through. It was excellent. A touch that you wouldn't expect maybe. Beautiful touch through. Great pressure at this ruck to force the turnover. Then he goes one better with the little show and go that we're going to see in a minute. But beautiful play to get here. Here we go. Hutchinson bites. You can't leave a man that close to the line. You've got to commit. You've got to be shoulders on.
Tries good.
You give Rob Duprea the space. He's going under the post.
It's constant pressure, isn't it, from 14 men? Just forcing Saints back, forcing them back, forcing them back, putting loads of pressure on them. Just a little kick through from that guy to begin with. When James got back there, he had 4 Sale players over the top of him and no supporting players from Saints. There's only one result if that happens. They've been really dominant. They've come here to make a statement, and boy, have they started with one.
And you talk about good problems to have. This is the NFL problem when your starting quarterback gets injured. George Ford sat on the bench here. He's one of the best 10s in the world. How can you drop this guy? He's the player of the match so far. He's superb. He's been superb all season. This guy has to have a place in this Sale team, and that's the conundrum for Alex Sanderson at the moment.
Playing his 28th consecutive Premiership match today, Rob Duprea has...
Come off.
The Sharks
Okay, take him in, lads.
try to drive beyond their 22 through Jono Ross now.
Inside.
So Farty, I think he had complete abandonment for his own personal safety and well-being then.
No,
2 second rows. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run straight into the pair of you so you can both smash me. Crazy.
Ram. Put it away to Augustus. Finn Smith was racing onto that. Ram again. Sends it out on the bounce. Gathered by Hutchinson. Here's Hinckley.
No, not now. No clear lift.
Paul Hill to Finn Smith, and now Robbie Smith. Waller. No way through. Jono Ross is holding up 3 Saints men all on his own.
That is high on the Northampton player. Penalty only. Yeah, penalty only.
A penalty advantage being played on account of that challenge. In the meantime, Freeman slipping through the gap, and an excellent support line run by Tom James. Saints striking back, and not before time. Freeman with the slice through, and Tom James.
And I honestly think they could have scored 2 or 3 times in this phase. There were 2 or 3 opportunities to go to the width where a pass went to floor. Ultimately, you get the ball into the hands of Tommy Freeman, one of the most exciting runners there are around. Superb. If Nines and Austin should talk about this. Support line from a scrum half, straight down the middle of the field. Don't run to the ball, run to the sticks. He's on the shoulder. Try score.
Let's have a word with Paul Deacon, who of course is the attack coach with the Sale Sharks. Quite obviously disappointed to have conceded, Paul, but more importantly, just give us an idea of the necessary reorganisation with Manu off the field.
Yeah, we've decided to just keep our 8 forwards on, so obviously we've got to adjust our backfield a little bit and make sure we've got the front line sorted. But the lads know what they're doing in that sense.
Thanks so much for your time, Paul. I'm afraid I'm not able to hear you at the moment, so I'd love to have a conversation that actually meant something, but a one-way conversation probably not going to work for either of us.
He said,
here's Proctor.
8 forwards are staying on the field and they know what they're doing.
Good work, man.
Scott Young, Smith. Overlap here for Saints. Hutchinson. Freeman again. Not happy about the collision involving War and James, but touch is found.
The challenge for Saints at the start of the game has just been amplified now. No Manu, man short in the back line. The spaces on the outside are even bigger. But they've still got to get around this northern wall. Because if they keep running into Visa and Jono Ross and Duprea and Johnny Hill, they will get battered. But if they get to the edge, which they're starting to, they're going to score a lot of points.
They're only 12 points behind. Let's not forget that now.
Over.
There's a real opportunity for them, particularly when Sale's front five get tired. And I'll show you what happened in that try in a sec.
5 seconds, please. 5 seconds. Yeah, good.
Freeman racing in. O'Flaherty will challenge. He's got a hand on it, and then off the Scott Young foot, and it's picked up by Visa of Sale. O'Flaherty does well, flings it out to Dupree. Here's James, caught right on the gain line. Again, it's Dingwall.
Dingwall shut that down there.
Rob Dupree. Trying to split Ram and James.
Always in.
Down the middle goes Ram. And Carpenter signals for Rob Dupree to chase this one. Freeman. A lot of space in the backfield. Gus Ward chasing across to try to meet it, and that's gone out on the full.
Just looking back to the try and where the opportunities will arise. If you watch Shonot here in the backfield, he's in the middle. They're well set up defensively, but look what he does. He just bites in for no reason at all. Completely separates the defence. Everybody starts crossing, and that creates space out wide in the 13 channel for them to exploit. You know, Saints are, for no reason, not for no reason, the top try scorer inside in the league, and it's because they're better at anyone else when they break in that 15-metre channel.
Over.
Ashman to Hill, and more good line-out possession here for the Sharks to work with. Curry to Rod. It was red that time. Smart work from Waller defensively. A little bit of indecision here from the Sharks, and Reed can't handle it. Forwards it goes. Saints off the hook.
Knock on, knock on.
And that's one of Sale's killer plays.
Come, lads.
One that they've just spurned the chance because the gap was there. And if Reed gets free, he's electric. You're not catching him. Let's see if we see it on the replay. It's similar to what they did last night with Reece Zammit shadowing the 10.
You know I'm tired.
I'd love it if we can see the replay. Here we go. Watch him. He's shadowing the 10 inside. And then there's that little inside ball through the guard where your bigger, slower forwards tend to be. And I think if he caught that, he was under the sticks.
So a little breather here with Nick Shonett being attended to. A reminder, tomorrow we are at Welford Road for Tigers against Saracens, a repeat of last year's final, of course, from 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Rugby Tonight will follow that at 5:15. Jamie Roberts and Brian O'Driscoll in the studio. That's that famous Lions centre pairing from 2009. They'll be recreating some of their magic. What a pairing that was.
Good chat. Thank you.
See a demo from those two, maybe get into conversation, a wider conversation about great centre pairings of years gone by, or indeed of right now, Austin.
Yeah, well, it's been the big question, hasn't it, for England for probably the last 4 years.
20.
Okay.
Come on, crouch!
No, there's been some good centre partnerships.
None of them have lasted terribly long.
Well, that's a good point.
Set! 1, 2, 3.
I was just trying to think of some good ones, so I'll just say there hasn't.
Tyndall and Greenwood were pretty good, weren't they?
That was 20 years ago.
That's 20 years ago, this is the point.
We said 20 years.
There's no Hawkins, put it straight in the second row.
Now then, this is a novelty, isn't it?
Scrum again. Clearly just straight in the second row.
Fed straight into the second row, so that happens
every scrum.
Pretty much every scrum at the moment. And I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I mean, that was a little bit extreme.
But this is actually one law that I'd like to see changed. If you get a free kick from a scrum, you can't ask for another scrum.
That's the warning as well, mate. That's our standard.
I'd go with that.
Or you've got to keep the scrum clock on the same time, and they've got to leg it. Be like the Antill mob.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, is it, anytime soon?
And here's somewhere again. Sale, full 8 forwards. The challenge is still there for Saints here. Sale's pack likes to eke penalties out, and if that scoreboard keeps ticking, Saints aren't going to win this game.
I think they felt that was the same offence. Here is Gus Ward to Rob Dupree, and now O'Flaherty. All sorts of clustered Saints jerseys around him, tapped back very effectively by Curry. Inside the 22 again. Rob Dupree, crossfield kick. They look better armed for this, Northampton. And it's just a little overcooked.
straight out or
What
not?
is the obsession with getting in the wide channel and kicking the ball away aimlessly? We saw it last weekend. This guy's been thrown in the stand.
Well, he's been thrown onto the concrete, more worryingly.
Let's check there's no foul play first.
Okay, thanks.
No, it's just unlucky. Oh dear, that's not nice. Let's hope he's okay.
There's a clear hook. You put yours in the second row.
I really hope he didn't go straight back onto his head there. He's landed on his back, hasn't he?
Well, that's all right then, Ali. It's only concrete after all.
I'm sure it hurt a great deal. I'm just saying it's probably better than landing on your head on concrete, Austin.
Slightly better than Harry Potter disappearing 2.5 metres down in France.
Time on. Take the line, Sale. We're inside. Inside. Inset's good.
Smith
Ball.
picks out ribbons.
5 out! 5 out! Down by Saints here, same ball.
Working the drive nicely beyond the 22.
Nine needs to keep control here. Oh.
Still with Robbie Smith. Rather unexpectedly breaking out. Not least, oh hello. I mean, how long can you hold on to the ball before you then pop it?
That long. It is a good point. But it's getting ridiculous now. I'm not sure it's a ruck though, because I think he's broken out. There's nobody over the top. It's a really good maul actually from Saints. Good footwork as well, isn't it, from Smith? Beats one defender. He's tackled there. Is there a ruck? Not now, there's not. So he's okay. Or is he playing the ball on the floor?
Time off, please.
Well, he's allowed to place it once.
Card.
He's allowed to place it once. He hasn't placed it. How long's he got before he has to, I guess is the question.
Just wait till somebody runs into your orbit and then you're all good.
That one was. Tom Curry went in on that one for the turnover. And on that one, I'd agree with Austin. He went straight onto his elbows and luckily for him, he missed the ball completely.
Down far side.
Referees are getting quite hot on it and they want to see the pull on the ball. The big one for the referees, if you go past the ball. If you go past it, you're getting penalised for that as well.
And after 250 Premiership appearances, Alex Waller's calf is finally grumbling. But only grumbling.
Time on, scrum, knock on.
As you were, Ethan. Big brother's all right.
Another thing you can't see on the camera, there's a very slight slope on Franklin's Gardens, and Sale have got the advantage at the moment, and it doesn't mean a lot most of the time, but I do think in the scrum and the maul it does, so the challenge is big here for Saints.
But you can actually feel it when you're on there in the scrum, can you? Should you be wearing crampons?
Should you be wearing built-up boots on one side?
I'd love to know that. I bet you said there's a boffin around who knows what it is. I'm sure we get a survey done. But when I played, we always thought, going the way Sale are at the moment, there's a slight advantage for the forwards. So given that Sale supposedly have got this powerful scrum and maul, there's a big challenge this half for Saints.
Well, if you look at the left-hand side of that stand, there's 6 rows on the far left-hand side. On the right-hand side, there's 24.
Bind!
Scrutiny, a little bit of scrutiny on the feed from Gus Moore, and you can be sure that the entirety of the Saints fans on the far side are watching carefully. Regardless, Northampton have the scrum penalty.
Number 3.
It's gone against Nick Shonett.
He's done it for the bind on the arm. It's on the other side, so we can't see from this camera angle. And it's about where he binds on the shirt. If he binds on the arm of the loose head and pulls it down, penalty again. So that's one of the little things that referees look for, help them judge whether it's a penalty or not.
What a score wouldn't do for Northampton from here. Right over the top they go, and Hutchinson feeds it back inside for Smith. Out it comes over the head of Ram, and picked up here by Carpenter.
Tackle! Still in under the
Promising situation snuffed out. Johnny Hill.
5 seconds, 9, you've had it.
3 in the backfield. And Freeman taking charge. O'Flaherty trying to do enough. It's good forwards from Northampton. He's so good on the chase, isn't he, O'Flaherty? Not least the pace with which he he moves upfield, but he's always there or thereabouts to make it difficult. Try and get that tap down for those in the slips.
Yeah, really difficult, isn't it, when it's such a good kick like that? I think he touches it first, though, so maybe it should have gone the other way. But one of the things really noticeable when you watch Saints play against the side is they don't get any turnovers at the breakdown. One of their top turnovers is Slytone. He's the only guy who seems to jackal and get over the ball. They don't really have anybody who gets over the ball consistently.
Well, there is one man, and he's playing for England, Lewis Ludlam, and he's playing superbly well as well for England, and he is one who physically can dominate the breakdown and make those turnovers.
But if you're playing against a side like Sale like that, you know that you're just going to face multi-phases, because they will just keep carrying and carrying relentlessly against you.
Scrum penalty this time is Sales.
Number 3 needs to bring his feet up, too far back.
And that's Paul Hill, so both the tight heads are getting it in the neck from Ian Tempest at the moment. Food for thought for Matt Ferguson there, the Saints scrum coach.
Bring him up a bit, mate, yeah? Just bring your feet up.
Great kick.
Oh, what a kick. He's really gone for broke there.
And I think this is one area where teams don't push themselves enough. That is a superb kick, but it's a closed skill. So the kickers should be pushing the boundaries and going for the 5. Because if they hit the 5-metre line, they should score every other go, really.
Have you been staying with Austin Heatley recently? It's one of his favourite hobby horses.
Hold in 5.
And round the front goes Sale. They're searching for the bonus point from here. They're not too far away. Oh, there we go.
I think he's lost
Jean-Luc Dupré, who may well have lost that in the act of scoring. Ian Tempest feels it was good. And that should be the bonus point. Unless Claire Holdner feels differently.
Claire, can you just clear how it comes around the front, please, for us?
OK.
Oh, it's close. I think the big question also is there a flying wedge around the front? Well, is there an obstruction from John O'Ross? Does he ground it?
Tempo, I'm going back because I want to look earlier.
I think he's grounded that. I don't think there's separation.
Go back.
But does John O'Ross get in front and obstruct?
He's not coming through me formally.
Here he is on the very short side. Does he go past everyone? No, I think he's OK, actually, there.
On-field call is a try. So, Hodges, I'm giving you time here.
Yeah, so we're looking at number 6, John O'Ross.
This is a better angle, Christian, isn't it?
Watch how he gets in front. Let's have a look. Nah.
He's OK.
Tempo,
I think he's OK.
I want to come to you now. I'm going to show you obstruction by 6, Sale.
It's a formal check.
Or maybe not.
Time off.
So Jono's got to stay bound. He's got to stay bound to the maul.
Can we go slow on it? We're
you can't enter the maul. The question is,
obstruction by 6,
let them tell
Sale.
The line out. OK, show me, please.
The question is, does he bind in front of the ball after the maul's already formed? So is the maul formed and he binds in front of the ball? That's obstruction if he does. No, I think he's already bound. His arm's in. He's
6 is
bent.
clearly in front.
Go back, slow it down for me, please.
It's close for me. I think that'd be very harsh if you were a Sale fan.
Go back to the start. I want to check this, please.
Yeah, we're coming back.
Right, nice and slow, nice and slow.
He's bound.
OK, Claire, take that back, because I'm seeing him as bound onto the lifter. I'm not seeing him clearly going beyond at this present time. So we've got an on-field try. This has to be conclusive. He's clearly in front. I see him coming here. He binds onto his lifter, Bevan Rod, who's level with the ball carrier. The ball goes in. It's just all about, is that transferred or is that a long arm transfer? That's what I just want to look at. I'm quite happy with where 6 joins at the moment.
Okay,
so one more
check.
time at the line out. And is it passed and they go down a different channel? That's all I'm looking at
Conclusive
here
evidence important here because he's already
he
awarded the
needs to take the ball,
score.
rip and go back into the same player. Which he doesn't do that, does he? The ball is passed.
Ooh. Yes, passed.
So the ball is passed, so we've got a long arm transfer, so it is an obstruction.
I think they need to look at that again.
Okay,
I don't think it is passed. I think he takes it out of his hands.
It's going to be no try.
Well, there is enough.
Because it's past the ball, it's not ripped and taken back into the jumper. It's a long arm transfer, effectively, and he's got a long arm transfer, and you're in front. He has to rip the ball. Curry has to rip the ball.
So he's effectively saying that the ball, the maul is over now, and Jono's in front, and he's gone behind him. Like,
penalty in 15.
I think that's very harsh.
Well, like so much in rugby, it is open to interpretation, and the officials have had a really good look at it. They haven't rushed the decision, talked it through, and they've come to a conclusion.
I don't think there's any action of the pass. I think that he takes the ball out of his hands, therefore it's not a pass. So, you know, he feels hard done by. Everyone in this stadium believes it's completely the right decision. And 50-50 at home think, well, someone's got it right, someone's got it wrong. You can't win, can you?
I think the colour of the shirt that you're wearing is probably going to dictate how you feel about that right now. Here's Hutchinson, got it away nicely to Smith. Space on the outside for Proctor, carving back infield. Stopped in his tracks by Sam James. Dying embers of this first half. A very busy one too. Hutchinson goes high and deep. And Carpenter.
Always in. Wait, Saints, don't go. 7.
O'Flaherty. Neither team keen to play in the middle third just at the moment. Gus Ward trying to apply some pressure here, and he's just not quite managed to snare James round. Second time round he does, but it's a little high. Perhaps the frustrations of that first missed attempt.
If Saints can come away with a few more points before half-time, they'll feel really happy, despite effectively being hammered for 20 minutes.
On the line, Bev, please.
Not too many times that a scrum half gets done for a high tackle. Tom James caught in two minds there, and then he's been caught by Bevan Rod.
No. Does really well to get his right leg to the floor.
Use it!
I know what Saints are doing here. They're trying to be pragmatic again and not play too much, but it's too slow. They've lost their 9. They need to get some more pace into the game, no matter what they're doing.
Okay, good work.
Finn Smith.
Not high on the ball for me.
Hutchinson wriggling free.
And again, not high.
Right up until the moment that John O'Ross intervenes.
Saints, don't go! Saints, don't go!
Smith, has he got a bit of a bend on that, plus the breeze. Oh, it's landed for Reed, and Aaron Reed sets off. Good tackle made by Smith, but Reed gets up and goes again. Not held in the challenge. Curry gets it away. Dupree, James. Probably the right call from Carpenter to let that drop. O'Flaherty in the meantime. Searching for the offload. War, and into the lazy runner, Finn Smith. That's another penalty, the second time that Gus War has managed to squeeze one of those out.
Well set defence, well set defence.
This one, I honestly think the referee needs to look at this and think it's just so clearly intentional. Like, if he's going to throw the ball into someone, let's have a look. If we can.
Thanks, Woody.
Well, a clear argument in Gus Ward's favour. He was in the passing channel.
Yeah, John Ross was away down the channel. He got the
ball
ball away.
Lads, off the lifter. Go back into the lift.
So one last
jumper.
Big effort here from Sale, with the clock in the red at the end of the first half. Johnny Hill does the first job here. Got to be squeaky clean as regards their drive. Ewan Ashman's onto it. Here's Ashman! And that is the bonus point. No debate about that try whatsoever. Inside the first half, 14-man Sharks with a bonus point at the Gardens.
And this is superb forward play. Superb, because they rode the initial defence. They faced a lot of initial pressure. They rode that, they stuck together, and then they went at the right moment. They, what we call a pivot. Watch this initial pressure this side. They ride it, and now let's pivot infield. Brilliant play. John O'Ross, he held that all together at the front, and then off they go. Ashman chooses the right moment to break.
Once on the screen.
His fourth try of the season, all of them in the Premiership.
Try is good.
Yeah. Good man. Cheers,
despite being on the outside of proceedings in the Six Nations with Scotland, he is right at the heart of things for the Sale Sharks.
I have it.
Just shows you, doesn't it, the fine margins of this league. Saints have got a line out that they lose 20 metres from the Sale line. They find themselves 5 metres from their own within 30 seconds. And instead of going in 12 points down, or maybe less, they find themselves conceding the bonus point before half-time and a real uphill battle in the second half.
Denied by the post. Rob Dupree, but Sale with a healthy buffer here at the break after a very busy first half. Manu Tuolangi's red card after just 14 minutes, but 4 tries scored. Reid, Curry, du Preez and Ashman to 1 from Northampton from Tom James. And at half-time in the Gardens, it's Northampton 7, Sale Sharks 24.
We won't. The lads are giddy. The lads are giddy about it. We're certainly giddy about the second half here. What have Saints got? Let's find out in the company of Ali Eakin and the boys. All yours, fellas.
Can I just say that the cricket really is very, very exciting and well worth tuning in for. It's going to be great. England's playing some extraordinary cricket at the moment, as we all know. Huge disappointment for Manu Tuolangi, having been sent off, his own worst enemy today, unfortunately. And given that he has a little bit of previous in the disciplinary department, that probably puts paid to, well, certainly the next couple of rounds of the Six Nations, even if he was going to be considered by Steve Borthwick in that midfield. And Saints with work to do here, trailing by 24 points to 7. One change made in the front row for the Sharks. Kuni Oosthuizen has replaced Nick Shonnett at tight head.
Taken in, lads.
And I really want to see Northampton Saints up the pace. Everything they do this half. They've got to play quicker against this Sale team. They're not going to win a slow game.
Tom James has got underneath that. And it's anyone's. It's gone forwards from Northampton. So not a great outcome for the Northampton Saints. It allows field position for the Sharks, who, for the most part, have really drawn the dividends from the territory that they've had.
Feet underneath, lads. Good binds. Lads, just
Sam Vesti will be just very keen that they keep the tempo of the ball high, that they try to exploit those wide channels and play their sort of rugby against a team playing with only 14 men. Easier said than done when the heavy artillery is quite so significant.
Stability far side. I can't guess. Stability far side. I'm not going to guess from this side, so we'll reset it. I'll come around.
Good job the ref was on the other side. I think the Sale Sharks. I mean, you said it exactly right there. Sale are very, very good at playing a slow, territory-based game, particularly when they've got all 8 forwards still on the field, and their maul and scrum is looking pretty dominant. Saints have got to challenge that status quo. They've got to find some pace in this game. Their ball handling's got to be slicker, and they've got to stretch this Sale defence.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Take 3.
Lads, we don't want to be on the floor all day, so please bring your feet up. Give me a more positive picture of the binds. Over half a yard this way. Scrummage at a height you can maintain. Don't just take it to the floor.
Sanderson prowling. He's been earnest this week, I would suggest. A little more earnest than in previous weeks. A lot of chat around the activity in the Premiership Cup. In fact, over the last fortnight, he just felt they'd gone away from their DNA. That very physical, no compromises, defence-based game. The kind of stuff that you can't really measure except in heart. And he wanted to return to that across the club, and it starts here today at the Gardens. They won the scrum penalty. Interesting because, you know, essentially those were a different set of players in the Premiership Cup, Christian. They were coached by, broadly speaking, a different coaching team. And yet he was still concerned enough that those couple of results might just have some kind of trickle effect through the rest of the squad.
Sorry, mate, it was just a little
I can't remember who said it this week, but some of that, you know, when you're in a camp, you're in a squad, you either add to it or you take away from it. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's not the same players, it doesn't even matter if the same coaches, but if you're representing Sale Sharks and you're not adding to that ethos, that squad ethic, that IQ, then you're taking a little bit away. So, you know, he will have been frustrated because, particularly against Exeter, the game just went away from them, and they weren't Sale Sharks. They weren't tough in defence, they weren't physical up front, and Exeter Chiefs tore them to shreds. So this today, let's give them credit to this point, has been Sale Sharks. Tough, uncompromising, smart, and they've dominated this game.
So now with the rain falling, Rob du Preez.
5.
Wind to factor in as well. It's been pushing it left to right, but he squeezed it through. 3 valuable points as they move ahead by 20 now. And the loss of Manu Tuilagi, at least on the scoreboard, not being felt too keenly.
Yeah, good nudge, good decision to take the 3. Just come out, slow everything back down, keep control. Took all the time he needed as well, didn't he, with the shot clock?
Tackle. Inside.
Who's going to be the first to get it wrong? It's got to be someone.
Someone who can't tell the time. Probably a forward.
Release.
Not kicking for goal.
OK, 5 seconds. You've had it now. 9. 18 onside. 18. Yeah, all on.
Gus Waugh just probes that 5-metre channel, and James Ram sets off again. Moon. Just not getting any change out of that gain line, are they, at the moment? Got to find ways to create the holes. Sale fighting for the turnover there. It's been
not lifting.
Ruled as an advantage to Northampton.
Hands down, not lifting.
We said in the build-up, though, round the halfway line, look how wide that defensive line was of Sale. Good line speed. Just got to get the ball in behind them. Just dink it, get it on the ground, slow down their line speed and turn those big forwards. Reasonable kick as well now.
And we haven't seen that, have we, from Finn Smith? We haven't seen the ball go on the boot, a little dink behind. We haven't really seen the crossfield kick. Maybe that's something that needs to come in to slow that line speed, because they're not getting any change out of that brick wall, are they? There's no go forward, there's no momentum, but they get a shot now. But it's slow. Slow again. Go quicker. Play quicker.
Only the second time they've been in the opposition 22, ball in hands. 47 minutes in as they move it now here to Freeman, who's looked one of their more likely attacking threats. Augustus. Smith.
Not high for me, live.
Visa coming piling in.
No, second head.
Waller. Ribbons, nice tip on for Augustus. Well read for the time being by the Sharks defence, but now some quicker ball and the pressure being applied by John O'Ross. That did go forwards, and maybe Saints can exploit this broken field. Finn Smith dabs it on its way.
To review. Head contact.
Across comes Sam James.
Yeah.
And head contact called in by our TMO.
Head contact.
Tell me when you're at the screen.
The TMO. Claire, who are we looking at head contact by, please?
I'll just have to find the number. The second row, I think.
It's Visa.
I don't think that's that bad.
Sorry, yeah, it's number 4.
OK, so we're looking at red number 4.
Yeah, red number 4.
OK.
Is the direct contact with his head?
Please. And just put it in slow-mo for me.
Just asked.
I think the initial contact is with the shoulder, isn't it?
I don't think he touches his head.
Have we got the main camera from the middle, please, Claire?
Yeah, got that now.
On.
I mean, if there is, it's minimal, please. Isn't it? For me, I don't even think it's a penalty, I think.
Coming now.
He's hitting forward. We just need to establish his late stare.
From a coaching standpoint, Visa's got lots of time to drop his height, but I don't think he makes a direct or dangerous collision with his head. Please. I think that's fine, and rugby, play on.
Point of contact, please, Claire, just for easier for
that's
us.
going to come now.
Thank you.
The thing is, you know, you go off the framework.
OK, so that's direct ahead.
I don't see direct.
Hitting forward, he's on his toes,
close.
hitting into the tackle. But there is a late change of direction by 10 who steps back across. So that's a yellow card against number 4, Sale.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, thank you.
Really harsh.
So Visa's gone to the bin, and that means that Sale go down to 13 men. And quite apart from having one of your biggest weapons in the midfield off the park, they are now operating with 7 in the pack, which might just change the dynamic.
Yeah, head on head, direct head on head.
This is the time. Right, we're not just 14, we're 13 now. You've got 10 minutes to push this advantage home.
Yeah, happy there.
And I keep saying it, play quick. Play quick. Don't waste your own time here. The clock is running, it's running now. Play quick, rack up the points as quick as you can.
Time to strike in the wet. Northampton have good line-out ball, but there's another ball suddenly appeared on the field. They have an advantage.
One move! Penalty advantage, lads.
James whips it out to Finn Smith. Crossfield kick. Oh, there's going to be an intercept here from Carpenter.
Early in the air. On
Back
the
for the advantage. And an early challenge.
So this is what I mean.
From the Sharks in the line-out.
Get another ball now. Get another ball. Put it out again. The clock's still running.
It's exactly the same with England at the minute. There's no tempo in the game. If you're playing against a bigger side, a stronger side, more physical, the only way that you can break them down is to make them more tired than you. There's the penalty. You can just see it. Was it John O'Ross on the floor, was it?
Six is called, 6.
Matt Proctor waiting hopefully on the right-hand touchline, but the set piece needs to function first. Up goes Ribbons. Transfer from Augustus. Smith to Freeman. Is that the start of the comeback?
And it was smart. You know, where's the Sale challenge defensively? Up front, tight. Can we push them over? Maybe not. Really smart from Northampton Saints. They dummy the drive, they play away, and they give it this absolute unit of a winger who crashes through the defensive line.
Tries good tempo.
Strong work. And a slick operation through 2 attempted tackles and crashing forwards and giving Saints fans some hope, some heart.
Nine and 13, mate, yeah.
And the conversion is good. 27 points to 14. Sale with 13 men on the park, but George Ford arriving, along with Rafi Quirk. A Premiership debut for the Sale Sharks, having played just 40 minutes against Bristol in the Premiership Cup a couple of weeks ago. And of course, having had 7 months out with Achilles trouble, damaged in the Premiership final last June in a winning cause for the Leicester Tigers. These are big moments for Sale. They are big moments for George Ford.
Interesting to see who they took off as well. Sam James rather than just a straight swap. I think Sam James has been really good again for Sale. But left to Priya on now. We'll see how they work together.
Augustus for Northampton, and there just isn't quite the same impact defensively here from the Sale Sharks. 1 or 2 softer shoulders being sought out.
It's because they're playing quicker. You can't organise. If you're not organised, you can't bring the same line speed.
OK, use it, please.
The weather deteriorating quite markedly.
The weather forecast said no rain today. I brought my posh coat and everything. No, it's not that posh. No. It's posher than yours, but...
It's not difficult. James. And out of the murk. It's taken well by Carpenter.
Been solid, hasn't he, under those high balls, Carpenter?
And another great find this season, up there with War. Superb.
OK, thank you, 9. Use it. Yeah, all on.
It's a good kick.
Ram slips it to Freeman.
Stop,
Finn Smith looking for the kick pass over the head of Aaron Reed. And it's been picked up here nicely by Carpenter. Sets off, looks like he's got the beating of Proctor. Inside his forwards.
He's knocked it on forward.
Down inside the 22. I think that went forwards. And
he's down as well.
Northampton hammer it away. Oh, he's in trouble. He's in trouble on the floor.
Thanks, man.
It's a really good break. Let's see the tackle. Oh, it's the head, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There's no foul play, Tempo.
Well,
that's fine.
It's not the Achilles, which would be, I imagine, his very first concern.
It's a line out. It's a real line.
So with any luck, George Ford will be okay to continue. Let's bring in Matt Ferguson in the meantime. Matt, who of course is the scrum coach for the Northampton Saints. Matt, we've been talking a lot about the speed that your lot need to be playing with to stretch this defence down as they are two men. Is that the message that's going on the field?
Yeah, 100%, particularly when we get into that scoring third. So, variation in that 22 increases the speed of that ball, yeah.
Tell us about the challenges of playing against teams that are underpowered. Sometimes, it's easy for us to look on and think, well, it should be more straightforward now, and often it isn't.
I'm not seeing a lot of underpowered teams out there, that's for sure, but I know what you mean in terms of there is more space on the pitch. What you need to do is you won't find that necessarily in the first two phases. You find that on phase probably 3, 4, 5, and at the moment we've got to make sure we get to there.
Thanks for your time, Matt. Appreciate it.
No worries, mate. Cheers.
Okay, let's see it.
Ford restored. Sale in possession. Rafi Quirk goes to ground, and George Ford just calling for a little calm. Not an unreasonable request at a point like this. Just chew up time on the clock and just do everything very carefully and deliberately, because it's the chaos that will suit the Northampton Saints. Excellent take from James Ram.
Yeah, exactly that. And that was, everything I'm saying about Saints, Sale almost do the opposite. Slow everything down, methodical, do everything right, make it as difficult as possible.
And they're keeping it in hand through Dingwall, who's accelerating through the space, and he's brought down by Ford again, who rolls quickly out of the way. 4.5 minutes to play on that yellow card.
Okay, use it! 9, you've had it!
Awful lot of height on that. And once again, Carpenter very secure. And skipping past 1, 2, 3 defenders. And then trying to straighten.
Thank you, 9.
It's a great burst in the tackle, Carpenter. You think you've got him, and then that last metre into contact, he beats people.
I think there's arms in that, Hodges, and it's just unfortunate.
Oosthuizen into Petch. That was the challenge that was interesting the officials momentarily. Rafi Quirk
is that right?
sends it up. Ram holds on. And then spews it between his feet, and it's driven onwards again. Dingwall held by Curry. Freeman. Curry wasting no time. He won't take for the dancing feet. Ribbons. Smith. Maybe space on the outside. Taken up by Graham. Sam Graham on the charge. Again, it's Ford who makes the tackle. Ethan Waller. Buffeted in contact. It's Ashman's ball. And then that stripped backwards by Northampton. Here's Proctor. Excellent leg drive. Another good tackle made by George Ford. Smith trying to massage those defences. Dingwall just held it. Again, he's lost it. And so too Rob Dupree, but the initial instance, it's gone forwards from Saints, and Sale will be delighted with that period.
They will, but it's breaking up big style defensively for Sale. A couple of those last little offloads, if they go to hand, they're under the posts.
And you can always see by who's on the floor. There's now 3, 4, 5 Sale players on their haunches, breathing heavy. They're being stretched. 13 v 15. It's a tough old defensive effort, and this is what I keep saying. Up the tempo, stretch them, make them work. Sooner or later, you find another Nick Shonner in midfield by himself, and you'll exploit it. But so much work needs to go in before that. And the Saints coach said, need to get to phase 3, 4, 5, and that's when the gaps are going to appear. This game is far from done.
Let's go. Okay.
Still another couple of minutes for the Sharks to hold out here while Kobus-Wiese is off the field.
Okay. You okay?
Finn Smith walking just a little gingerly.
It's knock on by Saints and then by Sale.
Sam Dugdale warming up as well.
Finn Smith would be an issue because I think George Furbank was covering 10 today. He's already gone.
No ball, lads.
Saints need Finn to shake that one off.
Okay, time back on, thank you. Let's set up, lads. We have a ball. Rafi will set the standards of the
probably
field,
mean a change of role, wouldn't it, for Rory Hutchinson, most likely, potentially Fraser Dingwall himself. But this is Sharks' ball.
Yes. Come on, crouch. Bind. Set.
Fed in by Quirk to howls from the Franklin's Gardens faithful. Ram, who's looked really bright today.
He has, but there's nobody in the backfield there, and he just ran straight back into traffic. There wasn't not one single Sale player in the backfield. Ford's covering it now by himself. Ford's just taken a knock. You know he's taken a knock. Put a high ball on him. And send 3 big guys. That's better. But
here it comes.
Kick to compete. Good kick.
From James, he's got an excellent angle on it. Oh, it's just dribbled in to touch the right side of the flag for Tom James.
And is that a 50-22? I'm not sure.
Did he carry this back? No, it's a 50-22. Great kick. There you go. That's the sort of defining moment in a game you need from our home side.
And Austin, why have Sale got 1 in the backfield there? I don't understand. You normally always have 2.
I think they've got 13 men on the field. 13? They're probably just trying to get as wide a frontline defence as they can.
So it's a big ask for a midfield ruck, isn't it? Covering the entire backfield with 1 man.
Well, it really is now or never time for Northampton. Sale remain with 13 men for yet another minute, and the ball is taken in by Ribbons, and they have options. Robbie Smith has it. Oh, and Tom James has dropped it. Did that go backwards? It did. Maybe some interference from the Sale Sharks. Here's Augustus for Northampton. Scott Young dealt with by Johnny Hill. Anxious moments these for the Sharks. Ethan Waller is next. Penalty advantage, held back nicely. Smith, Freeman, Proctor. Crisp in the end, and absolutely essential. The timing of that score could not be more significant. Sale will be back to 14 men imminently. This was critical.
And we highlighted it. Huge opportunity versus 30 men. You've got to play quick, you've got to score points. And fair play to Saints, they've done it. 12 points. This kick now becomes critical for Finn Smith. This kick goes over, they're within 6. And we said there's a lot of time left on the clock. What Saints have changed is the tempo that they're playing at. It's much, much better. And every time they avoid that Sale wall, they're getting success.
How many times have we seen big comebacks in the Gallagher Premiership this season? Every single week there's someone somewhere doing something extraordinary from
yes, mate, I did say try all
seemingly very, very difficult positions.
He's missed it. That's a big miss. The whole scheme of things. But if you look at defensively what 13 men does to you in terms of your width, he's limping as well, Smith. But just look how tight Sale are. They're 5 metres from the line. That's 12 metres in between the first and the last defender, covering 40 metres of the field. And then as the last defender, Carpenter, you just got nowhere to go. You've got 3 men to cover. You just got to try and get a little bit wider. Saints see that, and they're so good, Saints, when they know that the corner is the last man and they can get round him easily. And that guy dives over. He's had another good game, Proctor. Lively.
Sale have Kobus-Wiese back with them. They've also brought on Sam Dugdale and Cy McIntyre. Here's Augustus for Northampton. 8 points the margin as we head up to the final quarter.
Play on, play on.
Petch.
Outside. Use your feet, use your feet! Take it in!
He's got a big boot on him, James, hasn't he?
Yeah, very.
Launched it a long way.
Used it to excellent effect at Welford Road, and we've already seen the damage he can do with it here today. Quirk for Ashman. Forward. Chase on here for Curry and Reed. But it's James's ball. Lovely offload. Proctor is there. And a fine tackle made by Rob Dupree.
Again, standout tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle and Proctor gets half through the tackle, gets his arms through, he gets the offload, and then Sale really are backing off defensively. Such an important tackle that in the context of the game. Really good chase, good take, keeps the ball alive. Lovely little offload from the ground here. You just think if Proctor gets 2 feet out this tackle, look, he comes out of nowhere, targets the ball. That's brilliant defence from Dupree.
In the middle, yeah. Early advantage.
Visa gathers, and the interference in the air allowing for the Sale penalty. Quirk to the short side using Reed. Nice footwork, couldn't link back with him.
Early in the air.
Teams will defend in certain ways from line out, and they'll try and force the team somewhere. Against Sale, giving front ball, they're going to maul it anyway, and then giving away the penalty. I don't get that. Again, Saints want to produce chaos. I'm not sure giving Sale maul ball and a penalty is going to do that. Poor discipline there, and it's been better today discipline-wise, but that's a cheap penalty that puts them exactly where they don't want to be.
Yeah, it's the position on the field as well in which it happened, because it's allowed for Dupree to put them pretty tight to the 5-metre line, and they've profited from here.
It's their first red zone entry in this half, isn't it, for Sale? They had lots in the first half. They weren't overly efficient, but this is their first opportunity.
Johnny Hill arches his back. Ashman has it here for the Sharks. Northampton at the moment don't have too much of an answer to the drive. Still with Ashman. Sale regather themselves for another shunt.
Sorry. By Green. Advantage.
Penalty advantage given up. Quirk waits. It might not come his way. There it is for Dugdale. Crashing beyond the try line. And that's number 5 for the day. And now you see the significance of that penalty from a few moments ago. From close range, they are very, very tough to stop.
And it all looks relatively straightforward. It looks a bit too easy. You know, Saints know the challenge that's coming. I'll say this, Sale were very patient. The referee gave them a lot of time. The ball was always secure, and they were playing with advantage, and even with that, Dugdale gets over, great strength, clearly grounds the ball. It's one of those where you've got to fold under the ball there, hold it up, and instead he powers through the challenge and scores.
Well, as good as the attack is, it is the defence that will concern Northampton as much as ever. Now 62 tries conceded in the Premiership. That is 8 more than any other side in the league. And it remains their Achilles heel.
Now this becomes a big kick. This makes it 15.
Got it as well.
That's very tidy. Very tidy from Rob Dupree.
6.
Every point feeling so precious when you don't have a full complement on the pitch. That's the tale of the Saints' defensive woe.
Make sure Finn's gone.
It's becoming a really positive conundrum for Alex Sanderson. Rob Dupree, probably the best player on the field today so far. He's kicked well today as well. Got to fit him into the team somehow.
But then you've got to drop someone in the midfield who's been playing really well. The whole back line has performed this season.
Jean-Luc Dupree on the charge.
I think we all know how good a player George Ford is. Oh, they're away here, possibly.
Is Collins, picked up well by James. Augustus, this is fluid from Northampton. This is when they're at their best. Ethan Waller takes the contact from Cy McIntyre.
Advantage, not rolling, or rolling the wrong way.
They've lost James. Someone's got to recognise that and go into 9. Looks like Rahm's doing that job now.
Hutchinson, who's playing 10 now with Finn Smith off the field. Carried up by Graham. Hutchinson to Proctor. Really good tackle made by Aaron Reid.
Still got it, lads.
Just stemmed the flow of that move in an instant. Ram.
Nothing coming, come back, roll away.
And the previous penalty for the Sharks not rolling.
17's got to roll clear, he's rolled in for the 9. Here.
And a change at scrum half now as well for Northampton. Callum Brayley will replace Tom James.
Down here. I need number 9 to leave. I think it's a HIA.
I think that's everyone for Saints now, isn't it? Bench is emptied.
I need him to leave the pitch. He's gone.
Now.
Two Saints.
As Tom Cruise takes the field, someone who's been on a real journey from Wasps via Edinburgh, top bloke, good Premiership player. Saints, the challenge remains the same. Got to play quick, the clock's ticking, 15 minutes. Still don't think this game's dead by any means, but the tempo's got to remain high.
So off comes Tom James, his arm in a makeshift sling, which is unfortunate. This is Cruz to find Ribbons, and now it's Northampton's turn to apply the heat. Graham is brought down and a penalty try is awarded.
Well, it's the same as the one that was disallowed for Sale. Sale will be saying, hold on a sec, there's a transfer pass from the line out to a flying wedge in front of him.
And another 10 minutes.
It's a yellow card for Ewan Ashman.
He's asking the question, Ashman, how is that not the same as the one you just disallowed? Probably even worse, isn't it? Let's see it now. There's a shift there. That's definitely a pass to a wedge.
Ewan Ashman's having an argument with the crowd on the way off. He's never going to win that one, is he? I think the penalty itself is clear. You see Ashman come in the side here, and he just drops it. That's clear. It's what happens before that. Was it legal?
But the thing is, it's not a maul.
That's a bonus point in the bag for Northampton. They are once again within 8, and once again Sale Sharks are down to 13 men. If they manage to pull through here today, they've very much done it the hard way.
Saints have got a 5-on-2 if they get the ball out here. Not going to get it out.
Yeah, but forwards are mauling. You're not allowed to get it out if the forwards are mauling. You're better off giving it to the other team rather than recognising space. Why would you want to recognise space on a rugby field if you're a forward? You wouldn't, would you?
A lot of hard graft up there from Johnny Hill and Tom Curry, and Sharks are rewarded with possession.
Time off. We're going to need a hooker, lads, aren't we? He's in the bin, so time off.
Just, Christian, have another look at this try and talk us through it, because for me it's not a penalty try, because if it is a maul, it's a shift of the maul and a penalty for obstruction. They pass it out. That's not a maul, it's a breakout, so he can bring him down however he wants in that scenario.
No, I disagree, because there's 2 Sale players. You've got the back row who's in Dugdale. As soon as the second man comes in from Sale, that's a maul. 2 from each side, and then he drops it. Penalty. You know it is.
I think it's completely the wrong decision.
Well, it's clear in the mind of Ian Tempest. Decision was made. Josh Beaumont is on for Johnny Hill. And we've got a terrific finale set up here.
Johnny Hill's gone well today, under the radar. Called the line out. Line out's been very good. Worked hard. Good performance.
And Aaron Reid packing down in the blind side. Out it comes. Rob Dupree carries it up. There won't be a great deal of ambition, I suspect, from the Sharks here to try and close this game out. It'll need careful management, and George Ford is perhaps the man for that. Lovely ball for Cooney Oosthuizen. Ford dabs it in behind. O'Flaherty chases hard. And the ball is still loose.
Take him back, scrum 5.
And it is a Shark scrum 5 metres out. Clever play from George Ford and a really strong chase from Tom O'Flaherty.
It is, isn't it? Little dink in behind. Look at the pressure O'Flaherty puts on. Almost a mess up there.
Go, fellas.
It's been a nice feature for today for Sale, hasn't it? That angled run out and then putting that sliding kick through with a really strong chase. Something that George Ford, we expect it. But Rob Dupree did exactly the same thing in the first half. Smart play.
Well, if you're looking for men to have on the pitch to try to close out this situation, he'd probably be in your top one.
Yeah, but what I was saying before actually was just because he's George Ford does not mean he should walk straight into this back line. You know, he hasn't played for a long period of time and the back line's really playing well. So by all means, bring him on to close things out, but he doesn't get the shirt just out of his name.
Dupree to Dupree. Another really important defensive effort from Fraser Dingwall, who has been tireless in his efforts today.
Play on, play on, play on.
Off the foot of Rafi Quirk. Tom Curry, oh dear! Forwards from Rob Dupree, and the moment passes.
I think the offload, the quality of the offload surprises him. Doesn't look like Curry's getting this out the tackle, but watch his feet, in, out, to the outside, little flick of the hand. He's actually surprised. Such a good piece of skill from Curry that it takes him.
2 men down, 1 from each team.
And he knows.
2 men on the outside.
Is that enough to deny him man of the match?
Well, that's one for you to wrestle with. In the meantime, there'll be a big old decision in that England back row to wrestle with. I mean, Tom Curry is in already seemingly the sort of form that makes him almost a certainty for selection at international level. Jack Willis played out of his skin the other day. Can you play them both together? Would you play them both together?
I think if you play them together, you're dropping one of the guys who's been England's strongest performer, which is Lewis Ludlam, and that's before you add Courtney Laws into the mix, who plays at 6, believe it or not, and has done for several years now. So what another selection dilemma for Steve Borthwick. Tom Curry has been superb today, and that little offload there is another string to his bow.
Ludlam at 8, Oz?
No, I mean, that back row for me at the minute, if he had everyone, I'd have Courtney Laws, Ben Earl and Curry. Got a better balance to it for me.
Saints with a powerful scrum, but not in the eyes of Tempest. Ian Tempest requiring a penalty. We'll do it all over again.
What you can say about the Saints' performance today, win or lose, is there's had a lot of dog in it. They've had to scrap for absolutely everything they've got. Physically, they've been dominated in the pack, but they still have tried every little aspect of the game to find a way to win this. They're not out of it yet. 10 minutes, the Saints 8 points, 9 points. You wouldn't put it past them, even if they are 5 metres from their own line.
Still 4 odd minutes to play on that yellow as well for Ewan Ashman. It's also meant they have a very inexperienced man in Ethan Kane in the middle of that scrum at the moment. Another messy scrummage, but it's beautiful in the eyes of Northampton because they won the penalty.
Around the corner.
I'm not going to say it again.
Yeah, you need to. You're absolutely spot on. You win a penalty, get there as the fly off, get the ball in your hands, hoof it down, make those forwards who've just given away a penalty backtrack quicker than they want to. Take whatever oxygen they're trying to get into their bodies out of it. Get to the line-out, get the ball in, move them wide. And before you know it, they've run 60 metres that they weren't expecting to with no oxygen in their system.
That is exactly what I'd have said. Get the ball in play. Get this defence running.
Coles whips it away. Hutchinson, that had a suspicion of the forward pass about it, but Augustus won't mind. Forwards he goes. Brayley, Dingwall. Oh, now then, opportunities. Collins out on the full.
Does everything right apart from the skill at the end. Times his run. Accuracy's just a little bit off for Saints. Look at that, times it well. Maybe he could drop the ball back on the inside to Ram. I think Ram knows that he's in a bit of space. We'll see this from angle a bit better. Watch Ram's eyes. Yeah, look, he knows he's on the space on the inside. Could have just a little flick out the back there. It's not easy to kick when you're running as fast as you possibly can.
Let's go, free kick, lads, let's go.
Here's Ethan Kane. He's the Sale Sharks hooker today. No Aka van der Merwe, no Tommy Taylor available. He's just 21. He's been playing his rugby with Caldy in the Championship, and he's picked out Jean-Luc Dupré nicely.
Great drill at that line-out. Josh Beaumont on. Good line-out technician, really smart call. Spotted that Dave Ribbons had shifted up, stuck it in behind him.
Moving but slowly, and Quirk is caught by Petch. Just hung on to it for a fraction of a second too long. Sale in the end had done very well to retain possession from that.
Onside, lads. Okay, thank you. 5 seconds.
Quirk. Very, very high. Not quite the distance he would like.
Backwards, play on.
Tap backwards by Reid, and Augustus is bustling forwards. Real urgency to Northampton as they pour forwards now through Dingwall, and Collins straightens brilliantly. Tom Collins with the step, and the offload is brilliant, and Brayley will slide in. The Gardens lifted to its feet. Callum Brayley with the score, and Northampton are right in the hunt now.
I don't want to be the killjoy, but they've gone very quick. Without looking at the pass, it's such a nice little break from Collins off the left peg inside Dupré. But then this pass here, right at the end, it looked very, very close.
Oof.
What we can say, electric from Collins, and made up for that mistake off the boot, which was a tough skill. What a step off the left and just straight. I always think anytime a stepper makes one change of direction, just goes. Here's the pass.
Yeah, TMO is looking at this.
I've got nothing clear. The try is good.
Nothing clear.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision. There's nothing clear. From up here, it looked like it was dubious, but in the slow motion there, it's probably the right decision.
1 point in it. 5 odd minutes to play. Carpenter for Sale. They have battled. They have had cards raining down on them, and it has been a problem. Oh, Carpenter moves himself away. There is a penalty advantage being played. Just committed, and the decision to break away was made a fraction too late, and he knew it.
Time, and he is in the air still.
That's better. Get a penalty, get it down there, even if you don't make touch. He has now.
What a kick! What a kick!
Carpenter's lucky there, isn't he? If Ron loses his balance and goes face forward, he's off. Down to 12.
And he played with tempo, didn't quite execute the kick, but because he did, there was no one back there. Out it rolls, 10 metres out. Saints have got to go score.
The 50-22, allowing for Saints ball. And the roar of the Gardens, maybe not as loud as it has been all season. Here's Augustus. Remember, they were 17 points down at half-time. Northampton now knocking on the door again, looking for a famous win. Brayley, darting. Just about brought down by Oosthuizen. The ball is still there for Coles, who is bundled.
No hands.
Big shot from Jean-Luc Dupré. Once again, they go in search of that try line. Here's Moon. Fired away again. Hutchinson, Collins, space for Dingwall.
There's a huge fight off the ball.
There is a big brawl ongoing. 5 minutes from the try line. Franklin's Gardens has erupted already, and it's boiled over on the field.
There's a red card coming as well. It's a late hit on Collins.
The There's three things there. There's three things. There's a brawl. I don't know what started that. As Austin says, Collins gets battered late.
So when he's passed the ball,
and there's the try in the corner.
I have a late
Three things.
hit, I believe, on the green player. The pass were in line, and there's a good grounding. So on-field decision is going to be try. We'll quickly box off those two things. Anything to add? Okay, so Hodges, have you got that? We've no issues with the passes. On-field decision is try. We just want to make sure here there's nothing more than a penalty in it, please.
Okay, on-field decision try.
Because it leads to that flare-up. So very quick look, see if there's anything there. And if there's not, we'll continue the try.
It's coming now.
It's really nice play from Saints. They get the ball out the back quickly here. Look at this pass. Collins does exactly right. Here comes the hit. That's bad. But is the pass? They've said the pass is okay. They're happy with that. Is there a wrap of the arm? There's a late hit one. There's one late hit.
Okay. That looks worse in slow-mo, Claire.
It's the second hit that's worse, isn't it? This one on Collins.
That last angle, just want to see if he's rapping, mate.
There's no rap there either.
Two.
It's two yellow cards there.
Wait, the first late or the second?
No, on this pass there.
There is no wrap.
Okay, there's no wrap, we play advantage. And do we have on-field decision is a try? So do we have anything to clearly overrule that?
No, on-field decision is a try.
Okay,
yeah, stay with it.
The try's good.
The try stands, and of course that remains all important over and above all the cards. And with 3 minutes remaining, Saints are on the brink of a memorable day.
And a big thing here, Ali, I think it's a penalty on halfway after this kick.
Okay, no problem. Nick, where's the shot clock? Okay, how long have we got? Okay.
So the Ashman
We've
yellow
got till 2 minutes on the clock.
is over. He's ready to come back.
Yeah, so he has until 2. Is that correct?
Rory Hutchinson.
Okay.
4 points. 2.5 minutes.
It's not the end of the world missing that kick. What an unbelievable fight back from the Saints. They need control here now.
What has George Ford got up his sleeve, I wonder?
Everyone's off. Just one out. We're not wasting time anyway.
Big old ask. 7 months out, straight into the cauldron.
I misheard on the penalty. I thought him say at the restart it would be a pen. Surprised neither of those no-arm challenges potentially drew a card. Anyway, challenge now for Sale. Go and score.
And they have 14 men.
He's on the bench. He's on the bench, is he?
It seems to be a bit of a mix-up as to the personnel for the Sharks at the moment.
Wait, mate, I need to make sure the numbers are right and we've got the right players.
They look to have 14 on the field.
He's done really well there, Ian Tempest, at the end of that, because there was so much going on. You could have lost his head, but he took his time, made the right decision. Arguably, there could have been someone in the bin, but let's get on with it. I think well done to the official there, because it's a lot of pressure when the whole stadium can feel like it's on top of you.
Yeah, I agree. Took the time, got the decision right.
Good competition.
Tap back by Roebuck, who's come onto the field. And here's Dugdale for the Sharks. Quirk, Oosthuizen, a little isolated. In comes Ashman with the clear out. Ford to Curry. See if they have the composure here. A real test of their championship credentials, you feel. Ford's right behind the gain line and flung over the top by Dupree for Roebuck. Excellent ground gained.
Saints have to stay disciplined here. They can't give mauling opportunities to Sale.
Release!
Forward again, this time to O'Flaherty. Folding towards that open side. Here's McIntyre. Sent packing. Forward again to the line. Need to keep the ball in hand here. Ford drives it across field. The kick pass waiting for the bounce. Oh, what a pick up from Carpenter. Needs to stay in field here. He's been put into touch. And that will be Northampton ball.
I tell you what, watch the work rate of Ribbons here. Absolutely brilliant. The amount of ground he covers to get across, to add his weight to the ruck. There he is. Look, he's still miles away in the midfield. The second row. We're in the 78th minute. Covering ground. Comes across, the tackle's made. They're not going into touch until he puts his weight on top of the ruck.
Okay, time off.
Brilliant play from that man.
And it can be little things like that that change you from being a good player to a really, really good player. He's running empty now. 79th minute for a second row. That little extra effort might just change the game.
I think this place might go crazy happy if they pull this off.
Well, they're on the cusp of crazy happy, I would suggest, just at the moment. They want to be crazy happy. They're just waiting for the green light. And they're going to have to see out one further minute.
We've seen the fire drill go off here on numerous occasions so far this season, but everyone's still here, so thank goodness for that.
And what do you do now, Austin? 50 seconds on the clock, you've got to exit.
Easy, win the line out, secure the maul, drive, and then just pick and go, zigzag, wind down the clock and kick it out. Because a penalty doesn't matter here. Just got to win this line out, that's all you've got to do, and you've won the match.
Tom Cruise picks out Alex Coles. Now that they have possession, is that enough?
Crazy that Sale didn't compete.
Don't change outside.
Can't believe they didn't compete there.
Next time, 9.
Brayley with Proctor outside him. They're all tightly packed.
Tackle, release. Onside.
15 seconds.
No, away. Yeah, thanks.
They retain the ball. The countdown is on. Another Gallagher Premiership firecracker. From 17 points down at half-time, Northampton pull out one of their most famous comebacks. Their biggest in the Premiership. They've done for the Sharks. Cards everywhere. 2 yellows, a red, 11 tries. And Northampton the winners. Full time at the Gardens. Northampton 38. Sale 34.